If you've ever shopped for a luxury SUV and thought, why does everything that looks good fall apart the moment the warranty ends? You're not alone. Today, we're cutting through the shiny badges and talking about the 5 do-it-all luxury SUVs that real mechanics actually enjoy driving. These are the rare ones that mix comfort, power, and long-term confidence without turning your bank account into a recurring hostage situation. And trust me, SUV number 2 has a trick up its sleeve that most buyers totally miss. If you want a luxury SUV that quietly does everything right without demanding VIP attention, the Lexus NX is that friend who shows up early, brings snacks, and never asks for gas money. It's the compact premium SUV mechanics tend to respect because it mixes Toyota-level durability with just enough Lexus finesse to feel upscale every single day. The ideal buyer is someone who wants real luxury but refuses to play the European reliability lottery. It fits commuters, small families, and anyone who values low stress above lap time glory. Most used NX models come with a 2.0 turbo 4-cylinder or the naturally aspirated 2.5 hybrid. Horsepower ranges from the mid-100s to the low 200s, paired with a smooth automatic transmission. Fuel economy is a major win. The hybrid easily reaches the mid-30s mpg, and even the turbo models avoid embarrassing themselves at the pump. It's not a rocket ship, but it feels confident, composed, and pleasantly quiet. Pros: reliability is the headline. The cabin feels solid, aging gracefully without squeaks or brittle plastics. Ride comfort hits that Lexus soft sweet spot, and the seats are genuinely great for long drives. Running costs stay low, especially brakes, suspension, and hybrid components. Cons: the older infotainment trackpad is famous for sending owners into mild existential crises, and the cargo area is smaller than rivals. The turbo engines can develop carbon buildup if neglected, and some early models had minor HVAC actuator noises. When inspecting a used NX, listen for clicking behind the dashboard, blend door actuator, check for regular oil changes on the turbo models, and make sure the CVT hybrid feels smooth without shuddering. Recommended years start around 2016 onward, with 2018 to 2020 often considered the sweet spot. Pricing in today's US used market typically runs from the mid-20s to the mid-30s, depending on trim and mileage. And coming next, a small Cadillac that surprises even seasoned mechanics. The Cadillac XT4 is one of those luxury SUVs that slid under the radar while everybody argued about German badges. Mechanics tend to like it because it blends straightforward engineering with just enough American swagger to feel special without becoming fragile. The ideal buyer is someone who wants a modern, stylish SUV with real tech, sharp looks, and a ride that's more playful than you'd expect from Cadillac's comfort-first reputation. It's perfect for urban drivers who want compact luxury without compact compromises. Under the hood, you'll find a 2.0-liter Turbo 4 pushing around the low to mid-200s in horsepower, paired with a 9-speed automatic. It's not a performance bruiser, but the torque curve makes the XT4 feel lively off the line. Gas mileage lands in the mid-20s combined, which is respectable for a luxury crossover with this level of punch. Steering is light, visibility is solid, and the suspension hits a sweet middle ground. Firm enough to feel sporty, soft enough for day-to-day pothole survival. Pros: the cabin layout is clean and intuitive, with seats that stay comfortable for hours. The 9-speed transmission is generally well-behaved, and maintenance tends to be easier than on many European rivals. The chassis feels solid, and used prices remain friendly compared to the class. Cons: interior materials can be hit or miss depending on trim, and the 2.0 turbo needs consistent oil changes to stay happy. Some early models had issues with premature front strut wear and occasional electronic gremlins in infotainment modules. When inspecting a used XT4, listen for suspension clunks over speed bumps. Check for coolant leaks near the water pump area, and scan the infotainment system for lag or random reboots. Make sure the 9-speed shifts smoothly in light throttle and firm acceleration. Recommended years start around 2020, when build quality and software updates became more consistent. Prices today usually run from the mid-20s to the high 30s, depending on age and equipment. Alright, quick pause. Grab your phone, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments which city you're watching from. It helps the channel way more than you think, and it keeps videos like this coming your way. Next up, we move from American flair to Scandinavian strength. The Volvo XC90 isn't the loudest SUV in the luxury world, and that's exactly why so many mechanics respect it. It has this quiet confidence, the kind you notice on a long highway stretch when the cabin feels like a Scandinavian living room and the stress just evaporates. If you're the type who values calm over clout, substance over swagger, the XC90 fits like a well-made wool coat. It's especially appealing to families who want real space, real safety, and an SUV that doesn't feel like it's trying to impress anyone at the stoplight. Volvo offers a mix of 2-liter engines, turbo and supercharged, plus hybrid variants. Horsepower usually floats from the mid-200s to the low 300s, routed through an 8-speed automatic. On paper, that sounds busy, but on the road it's smooth, relaxed, and surprisingly efficient for a 7-seater. The steering has that classic Volvo weight, calm, intentional, and reassuring when the weather turns sketchy. Strengths? Safety tech is the XC90's religion. You get layers of collision avoidance, lane assistance, and structural engineering that genuinely make drivers feel protected. The cabin materials age gracefully, with real wood, real metal, and seats that feel like Volvo spent its entire R&D budget studying human spines. The ride quality leans toward comfort, and long trips are where this SUV quietly flexes. Weak points? Early models had infotainment screens that could freeze like they were buffering life decisions, and some air suspension setups developed minor compressor issues. The 2-liter engines, while clever, ask for strict maintenance, especially oil changes and cooling system health. And because it's a large SUV, front control arm bushings can wear faster on rough roads. When checking one used, scroll through every menu on the portrait-style touchscreen, make sure the driver assistance features work consistently, and listen for front-end thumps at low speeds. Plug-in hybrid buyers should verify battery health and charging port seals. The golden years for many shoppers run from 2017 to 2020, where software matured and build quality tightened. Prices today often land between the low 30s and mid 40s, depending on trim, mileage, and powertrain. Next, we shift from Scandinavian serenity to German precision. Some luxury SUVs try to wow you with screens and chrome. The BMW X3 wins people over the moment it rolls into a corner. It has that trademark BMW balance, where the steering talks just enough and the chassis feels like it's been to therapy, calm, composed, and predictable in all the right ways. Drivers who pick an X3 usually want a premium daily that doesn't feel numb, something that still sparks a little joy in traffic or a weekend backroad. Mechanics appreciate it because, when maintained, it behaves exactly as designed. Solid, responsive, and surprisingly durable. Powertrains range from the 2-liter Turbo 4 to the beloved 3-liter inline 6, with horsepower stretching from the mid-200s to the high 300s. No matter the engine, the ZFA 8-speed plays wingman perfectly, crisp, intuitive, and almost invisible. Fuel economy usually lands in the mid-20s combined, respectable for an SUV that actually likes to be driven. On the road, the X3 feels planted, with suspension tuning that leans sporty without punishing daily comfort. Of course, it's not flawless. Earlier models could develop timing chain concerns on certain 4-cylinder versions if oil changes were skipped, and worn engine mounts can introduce subtle vibrations at idle. Electronics, typical of premium German cars, demand a healthy battery and good grounding. But the payoff is a cabin that still feels premium after years of use, with supportive seats and a driving position that makes long trips strangely relaxing. For inspections, pay attention to coolant leaks around the expansion tank, listen for rear differential whine on higher mileage units, and test the iDrive system for smooth, lag-free operation. Many buyers target model years from 2018 onward for improved refinement and updated tech. Expect used prices to float between the high 20s and mid 40s depending on engine, mileage, and trim. Up next, a luxury SUV that won mechanics over with honesty, space, and long-term toughness. Luxury SUVs often try to impress with flash, but the Acura MDX wins by being endlessly useful. It feels like someone engineered it with real families in mind, people who haul kids, gear, pets, and still want something refined enough for a nice night out. Mechanics like the MDX because it doesn't pretend to be exotic. It's practical, well-built, and powered by components that have proven themselves for years. For buyers who want reliability without giving up comfort, this is one of those buy it and exhale choices. Most used MDX models run the 3.5-liter V6, a smooth, naturally aspirated engine with horsepower sitting in the mid-200s to low 300s. No turbos, no drama. Depending on the year, it's paired with either a 6-speed or 9-speed automatic. The 9-speed got off to a clunky start in early production, but later updates refined it into a much friendlier partner. Fuel economy usually settles in the low to mid-20s combined, which is respectable considering the size and power. What stands out most is how the MDX drives. Despite being a 3-row, it feels lighter on its feet than competitors. Acura's super handling all-wheel drive, SHAWD, adds a confident, almost athletic feel in corners. Inside, the seats are supportive, visibility is generous, and the ergonomics make long days behind the wheel surprisingly easy. Naturally, there are quirks. The 9-speed transmission in early years can hesitate or hunt for gears if software updates weren't applied. Some owners report premature wear on rear suspension bushings, and V6 models may develop minor oil consumption if maintenance intervals were stretched. Infotainment setups before the redesign weren't exactly fan favorites, with dual screens that sometimes felt like they were arguing with each other. When inspecting one, check for smooth shifts in both light and heavy throttle, listen for suspension thumps over speed bumps, and verify that all driver assist features, especially adaptive cruise and lane keeping, operate consistently. Recommended years typically start around 2016 onward, with 2019 to 2021 often delivering the best balance of features and refinement. Prices in the current used market usually land between the high 20s and low 40s depending on mileage and trim. So that's our lineup of luxury SUVs. Mechanics actually enjoy driving, 5 models that don't just look good in photos, but stay solid long after the warranties run out. If you want comfort, confidence, and a daily that won't bully your wallet, any of these picks can be your upgrade path. If you're new here, hit subscribe, drop your city in the comments, and check the next video on the channel. Your next car might already be waiting there.